Well, I guess I'm committed. Draining the air to freeze. Gonna get started on replacing these freeze plugs. Oh, there we are. There we are. Ooh, funky stuffer. Yeah, baby. Pretty typical funky stuff. We gotta clean that really well. Ooh, pretty clean. Okay, this, believe it or not, is Permatex 2 gasket maker. That's what was recommended to me. So, yeah, that's getting... I think this is still good enough. Okay. So now, this is going to be interesting. Interesting. Well, let's see here. I'm gonna have to get a socket to squish that in a little bit farther. Almost. almost. A little bit more. That should do that. And now yeah, that is dimpled in there. So essentially rinse and repeat on all the other ones. Yeah, didn't see that very well, did you? Okay, we got 3 of them in. All right. It's such a pain in the butt pulling stuff out to make room. And we have exposed, there's the worst one down there. And that one's not much better. So those are the last 2 on this side. Okay, this is our last one. And if you notice, it doesn't want to go in completely straight. So that's why there's this. So I keep bashing it in until you can feel that it's got inside that little indentation in there. And the last bit of magic, I decided to use the kind of flat side. I think that'll look better and make a better seal. You can tell with your finger it's starting to flatten out there. You don't have to, I wouldn't think, do it that much. It's not going to flatten out because it's already a pretty tight fit. Gonna call it good. Okay, we're successful. Yes, there are some more freeze plugs. Oh, there's at least one on the head. I got all the ones that were leaking. Since it's not a pressurized system, I'm not really that freaking out about it. The hidden one starts to leak. I probably won't go for quite a while. I know there's one behind the flywheel, I believe. Yeah, I'm not going to get that. But this job is successful. Oh crap, what am I in for now? And again, I'm at the point of no return. It's time for these springs, and this is the left side. This is by far the worst. You can tell it's very rusty. I don't trust it. Bushings are worn down to nothing. So you're gonna tell me I'm stupid, crazy? I got the front supported by these, I think they're 3-ton jacks. These are in the back just as a safety right now. And of course, I've got a nice new 4-ton floor jack underneath there for the axle itself. So yeah, this is the process. You know, I guess it don't have to be done till spring, but if I don't run into huge problems or, God help me, accidents, it shouldn't take too long to do these. So here we go. So here's the next big project on the Power Wagon. Replacing the front springs, new hardware. Pretty much got everything from vintage Power Wagons. Now I'm just cleaning off the old UPS labels, all the sticky labels and stuff, and gonna give them a shot of black before I go any farther. So the first thing to do is take off the shock. Then next, these U-bolts are essentially irreplaceable. According to vintage Power Wagons, you can get new ones, but because of the tensile strength requirements, they're going to have to be a lot bigger than that, and they won't fit. So they suggested break the nuts off. So we're going to see if that works. Don't have any other choices at the moment, so hang on. I decided this is garbage. I just put my air gun on there, and they spun right off. Of course, now I have been soaking that down with PB Blaster over the last month or so. So I'm sure all that together, yeah, everything came loose okay so far. So let's apply some more PB Blaster liberally. This might be interesting here. Of course, we got the weight pulling away from the spring. We'll have to lower that jack just a tad to see, get some pressure off of it. So here's one process that I've done. Of course, soak in PB Blaster, wait, lots of heat. I've got two MAP gas torches, the T8 or TS3 or 8000, T8000, whatever torches. Hottest you can get without going acetylene. And putting pressure on both of them, so in theory, it should pop out. Have my first success. This is not completely out, but it's loose. Doing the same thing, heating, PB blaster, pushing with the jack. And finally, notice the nuts are run up on the threads. Hitting that, smacking that with a good size hammer repeatedly, and it slowly gave way. I've got this one loose now. Some patience for the others. If you are not subscribed, Santa will not come visit you, guaranteed. So yay, we got the spring out. And essentially what it took was patience, heat, cool normally, just let it cool slowly, come back the next day, heat it again, a lot of PB blaster, let it soak, come back the next day, blah, 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 on and on and on. So got the old spring out. I have mostly all new hardware, so the next thing is to start cleaning all this up. The splash pan in there, which was hard to get to before. Now this is giving me a chance to get in there and get it. I'll show you. It's got a big rusted hole in it. I thought about just making a new one, but I think what I may do is just repair the old one. That might be a little bit easier. And since I moved, I don't have any more big pieces of scrap metal around anymore, so I've got to replenish all that. So after cleaning 70 years of mud and oil and grease and yuck, I was gonna try to cut it here and replace this, but it's just too far gone. I think what I'm gonna do is flatten it the best I can, and I've got a piece of steel. This is 22 gauge. Might be a little thinner. Than what I got there, but not a lot, and that'll be easier to work with. So get to work hammering away on that. Okay, I left my metal brake at a buddy's house about an hour away. I don't have time to mess with that. This is pretty thin sheet metal, and it's more complex than I don't think that would help me much. So using steel angle iron clamps, beating it out, that should work. Okay, what do we think here? That's good. That's Should be how it sits in the truck. Yeah, I'm not a Pakistani truck mechanic or whatever, but I think that will do. Get it fitted in there, touch up some minor things. There's also going to be a tab, 90-degree tab that goes right here, the bolts on the front. I haven't decided whether I'm going to try to spot weld that or since I've got thin sheet metal, maybe pop rivets. Don't tell anybody. Cleaned with a wire wheel and some alcohol. Tape off the threads. I'll give it a shot of black, probably 2 or 3 coats. And I will run a dye on those threads to clean them up, make sure they're good. But that's the next step. And now for reassembling. And just like that, got everything back together, everything correct. Just need to tighten a few things to spec, put cotter pins in, things like that. Everything went together pretty much like it should. And then side 2. And now a break from our sponsor. No, I don't have a sponsor. It went on fine. Oh, and by the way, I found this in a bunch of other stuff that I bought off somebody. The other side, I'll have to glue rubber to steel and see if I can get that repaired. But this is brand new. It's not even listed on Vintage Power Wagons. Well, I mentioned I had one new bumper, spring bumper, but I'm gonna have to repair this old one. And what I've chosen is, it's basically any brand of super glue should do the trick. I've watched a bunch of videos, and this seems like it's going to hold the best, I think. Clean it really good, blob it on, and then center it on there, glue it on, and I'm clamping it in a vise. Not tremendous pressure, but just enough to keep it together, and hopefully I'm going to wait till tomorrow, and it should be nice and tight. This is hard to video. The correct way to grease these front knuckles, there will be a grease fitting on the top. You want to take it off and replace it. There's a plug at the bottom. Put your grease fitting in there and just fill it up until it comes out the top. You'll have to trust me, it's too hard to get a camera down in here. The one difference so far on the left side, driver side, is that the pin bolt for that front shackle, well, number one, it's stuck, which I know how to get stuff unstuck, but it runs right up against the drive shaft for the PTO, so you're gonna have to wrench that out of the way, put on your man pants and get it out of the way, and hopefully everything will come back together. Some would say, well, since you're down here, why don't you clean and paint or even replace these drums? The brakes work and they're fine. They're not completely true, but things might be in the works in the future, like disc brakes at some point. So why waste my money and time when I can do that? But not today. And also, I showed you the two rear ends, differentials, whatever, with 488 gears. Well, why don't you go ahead and put those in? Well, may have a performance improvement before I do that. I was told I might have some trouble with these hills around here if I went to 488 gears without doing anything to the engine. So a stock flathead 6 doesn't have that much power. So things may be in the works there. So, well, first, subjective observation. The ride height is evened out. It's higher in the front end. So I'm saying those springs were pretty much tired and done. So let's hop in and take a little drive.